St. Peter's Square was designed to be a space that reflected the spiritual and earthly power of the Catholic Church and to welcome the millions of faithful who visit the Vatican each year. This iconic place is not only a spiritual center for millions of Catholics, but also a masterpiece of architecture and urbanism, with deep religious and cultural meaning. Its history, its construction, and its legacy have left an indelible mark on the history of art, religion, and politics. Its construction began in the 16th century under the papacy of Julius II, who decided to renovate the area surrounding St. Peter's Basilica, the center of Christianity. The project not only involved the creation of a monumental plaza, but also the construction of a church capable of housing a growing crowd of pilgrims. The planning of the square was entrusted to the architect Donato Bramante, who in his first plans imagined a circular space. However, it was his successor, the brilliant architect Michelangelo Buonarroti, who carried out one of the most significant interventions in the design of the square, orienting the space towards the basilica and adding a series of elements that would make it unique. However, it was the architect Gian Lorenzo Bernini who completely transformed St. Peter's Square into what we know today. In 1656, under the papacy of Alexander VII, Bernini was appointed to design the square and its surroundings. It is he who shaped the space that, in a way, symbolizes the welcome of the Catholic Church to all the faithful in the world. Bernini designed an oval-shaped square, surrounded by a huge colonnade. This architectural element is one of the most recognized in the design of the square and is made up of 284 Doric columns arranged in 4 rows. These columns are arranged in such a way that they seem to embrace visitors, creating a feeling of welcome and protection, almost as if the church was extending its arms to welcome believers. The central space of the square is marked by an Egyptian obelisk that was moved there in 1586 from the Circus of Nero, an ancient Roman performance site. This obelisk, more than 25 meters high, is one of the few that survived in Rome from ancient times. It is aligned with the main altar of St. Peter's Basilica, which underlines its religious symbolism. The square also has 2 fountains designed by Bernini, which are located on both sides of the obelisk, creating perfect symmetry. These fountains add not only an aesthetic and harmonious sense to the place, but also a practical component, as they provide freshness to visitors who gather in the square under the Roman sun. St. Peter's Square has a deep symbolic charge. From an architectural point of view, Bernini's colonnade represents the open arms of the church that welcome the faithful, a symbol of welcome and unity. This space was designed to accommodate thousands of people, reflecting the universality of Catholicism. In fact, it is said that the square is designed so that, when looking from the center, the columns visually join together, giving the sensation that there are no limits, as if space were infinite, symbolizing the expansion of Christianity in the world. In addition, the square is directly aligned with St. Peter's Basilica, which was built over the tomb of the Apostle. St. Peter, one of the most important followers of Jesus and considered the first pope. This alignment is a physical and spiritual reminder of the connection between the Church and its founder. St. Peter's Basilica, with its imposing dome designed by Michelangelo, stands as a symbol of the Pope as spiritual and earthly leader of the Catholic Church. The obelisk in the center of the square also has great symbolism. It was moved to the square by Pope Sixtus V in the 16th century. It has Egyptian origins, reflecting the idea of the universality of the Church, which not only embraces Christians, but also ancient cultures and past civilizations. The legacy of St. Peter's Square is extensive and multifaceted. First of all, it is one of the most important sites for Catholics. The square has been the scene of countless papal masses, public audiences, and religious celebrations, where the Pope has addressed the faithful from around the world. In addition, it is the place where the most significant events of the papacy are celebrated, such as the election of a new pope, which takes place from the central balcony of the basilica, facing the square. From an architectural and artistic point of view, the square represents one of the peaks of the Baroque. Bernini's work, together with the Renaissance elements of Bramante and Michelangelo, symbolizes a perfect synthesis between religious architecture and art, transforming St. Peter's Square into one of the most visited and photographed spaces in the world. Over the centuries, it has inspired generations of architects and urban planners, and its visual and spiritual harmony continues to be a benchmark in modern architecture. St. Peter's Square also remains a cultural icon, a masterpiece that connects the past with the present, art with religion, and history with spirituality. It is a space that continues to attract millions of visitors and believers each year, uniting people not only in their religious worship, but also in their admiration for one of the greatest works of architecture ever built.